The budding national American terrorist organization, the Proud Boys, they took to the streets of the nation's capital on Saturday night to continue to join the president in complaining about his more than 50 election-related losses from just this one election. So while it's disappointing that they've lost all this and constantly over and over again for this president, their anger has turned to even more violence and arson, as we will soon see, as they've also directed their anger at black churches in the DC area as well. And if that sounds like a story that we've heard from American history, that's because it is. So as you're looking at here, this was actually the first group of them carrying a Black Lives Matter flag that they apparently had snatched off of a black church. Someone in the area took it in a circle, and they all decided to circle and dance around it and light it on fire, because that does something. It has something to do with protesting the results of the election. Not sure what that does for protesting the results of the election, but it does somehow. So that one was. Let's go to this next graphic from the Associated Press. So some of these vandals tore down a Black Lives Matter banner and signed from 2 historic black churches in downtown Washington and set the banner ablaze as nighttime clashes Saturday between Trump supporters and anti-counter demonstrators erupted into the streets, and there was many arrests. Also, police on Sunday said that they were investigating the incidents at the Asbury United Methodist Church and the Metropolitan AME Church as potential hate crimes, which one religious leader likened to a cross burning. One more, it pained me especially to see our name Asbury in flames, said Reverend Dr. Eanther M. Mills, the senior pastor at Asbury Church, said in a statement Sunday. For me, it's reminiscent of cross burnings. Seeing this act on video makes me both indignant and determined to fight the evil that has reared its ugly head. So who knows if it was random because it was nearby, or because there's these churches that they've now seen. They're like, hey, let's go snatch this off of their churches because a church saying that someone's life matters, that's so anti to the conservative movement. We're Christians here. We follow God. Let's go to the church and snatch some signs off and burn them in the streets and curse and circle and say and yell obscenities at our opponents, because that's the Christian thing to do. So I don't know. The weekend went violent. We're going to get into more of the actual violence that happened in the next story. But Jake, first, what do you think about the fact that they targeted these churches?
Okay, so first of all, Jayar, you're absolutely right. When it comes to the right wing, they're like, church is sacred. I'm going to tell you to vote for Trump, and I'm going to tell you that God wants you to vote for Trump, and I'm going to keep my tax breaks because church is sacred. Everybody, give me a private jet. Church is sacred. Okay, black churches. Oh, let's just rip their stuff up, burn it to the ground. The church is not sacred for black people. Don't be ridiculous. It's only sacred for white right wingers, apparently. So let's note that hypocrisy, which Jayar alluded to, right? Number 2. They burned a Black Lives Matter banner from the church itself. How is that for irony? We don't think it's Black Lives Matter is that big a deal. We don't think you need it. So we're gonna burn the idea of Black Lives Mattering, which thereby proves that we need it. Apparently we need the movement really bad, because even the thought of Black Lives Mattering makes you so mad that you burn down those words. And by the way, that's exactly what fascists do. They get around in a circle and they burn things that they don't agree with. So, yeah, go ahead, Jayar.
And after they do so, they look for approval from their president, who said it's okay to do these things. As we already saw from that, from the debate in this election, where Trump said stand by and stand on, whatever he said, to continue on with the Proud Boys. He never heard of them, but he needs them to stand by and be ready for things like this. They heard it that way, and these are the actions that have come from it. We tend to forget what led up to certain things like this, and then once we get there, we're like, whoa, man, the Proud Boys in the streets doing these things? Now, if it sounds anything like someone else, again, attacking black churches in this country because they're white supremacists and they want to start a race war, there's this guy, I remember from 2015, named Dylan Roof. Let's get to some of the things that he did in case you guys forgot. So Roof was an avowed white supremacist. He said it himself. He was convicted of federal murder and hate crimes and charges after he killed those 9 folks. He was sentenced to death in January of 17. And when he represented himself at the penalty phase of the trial, he told jurors that there's nothing wrong with me psychologically, because they were saying he was a little bit off, maybe he had some issues, and that's why he did it, not because he's a rabid racist and he was pushed forward by other rabid racists in our country. Continuing on. Prosecutors presented evidence in court of chilling writings from the jailhouse journal. Again, if you guys remember this stuff, I just want to reiterate it. After he wrote it after the attack. He said, quote, "I would like to make it crystal clear. I do not regret what I did," Roof wrote in the journal. "I'm not sorry. I have not shed a tear for the innocent people I killed. 9 black folks and many others injured in that church that they invited him in." Lastly, Roof's mental state was explored in detail in documents from Roof's competency hearings and videos of 3 prison visits by his family that were released in May of 17. According to one transcript, Roof told a psychologist working for his defense team that his death penalty wouldn't be carried out because he'd, quote, "be rescued by white nationalists after they took over the government." So you got white nationalists in the streets in our nation's capital talking about how they will overturn elections so they can have their white supremacists continue on with his reign in the White House. Possibly because Dylann Roof is hoping for that to happen, because we know Dylann Roof also wanted a race war, and these guys wanted as well, because then after they take over the country, they'll rescue him from prison and his death penalty sentence, because that's the way things work in this country. Or at least that's the way a certain significant percentage of people in this country think things should work.
Yeah, so I want to build on what Jayar just said. It's such a great point. Unfortunately, there's a history in this country of racist right-wingers attacking black churches. So it wasn't just Dylann Roof in modern history that did that. There was many attacks on churches during the civil rights era, including probably the most famous is the 16th Street Baptist Church bombing in Birmingham, Alabama. 4 Klansmen bombed a black church, killing 4 little black girls inside, burned them alive. So the reason that they murder your kids inside a church is to send a message that you're not safe anywhere. So we've been dealing with these right-wing terrorists in our country for a long, long time. And some of us have been dealing with it for far longer. And you should be cognizant of that. And so when you see these despicable terrorist wannabes, Proud Boys, tear down and burn things at a black church, understand the history of it, the context of it, and where that winds up, and how it has ended historically in this country. So whoever's on tape doing that, and we have tape of it, every single one of them should be arrested for arson and for many other charges, and it should be taken very, very seriously.
Absolutely, it's got to come that way at some point. This is the other church in the DC area that they snatched down a sign off of and started kicking, because again, that has something to do with President Trump losing his election 59 times. Somehow that makes them feel better. But again, if you're roving and looking for black churches to attack, again, you have to connect that to how we don't. How much do we play about attacking synagogues, places of worship in our country? In fact, we have a lot of folks and Christians that are saying, hey, there's an attack on Christianity. This is the attack on Christianity. We're waiting for you, Bill O'Reilly. We're waiting for you, Sean Hannity. We're waiting for all of you guys to talk about these attacks on Christianity in our country. By who? The same people who claim to want to protect Christianity in our country. These are Christians that you're attacking. These are that you consistently attack, and you somehow find a way to get to them first when you're looking to protest an election.
I'm proud to be your tag team partner on this one, Jerry. Every issue you raise is exactly right, and I had not thought of it that way. You're right. I mean, they're the ones who claim there's a war on Christmas because Starbucks said Happy Holidays instead of Merry Christmas. But then when actual churches are attacked, the right wing goes, yeah, but it's a black church, so we don't really care about the attack on Christians. Oh, Jesus, man. Their hypocrisy knows no bounds.
Thanks for watching The Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, Jayar. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.